Alright, hello everyone, this is Insomniacs Ink. We're here to do an unboxing of a Pathfinder brick for the Rusty Dragon Inn set. This is my first time buying miniatures that are pre-painted in about 6 or 7 years. Ever since I've started picking up the habit of and hobby of painting my own about 2 years ago. I had sold off my older pre-painted minis, but sometimes you just need a pre-painted figurine. So I decided, why not? I like the idea of this set. There's a tavern meeting in almost every single Dungeons & Dragons or Pathfinder game out there, so why not invest in this Rusty Dragon Inn? So, let's see how well I do in this game, or in this unboxing. You can see on the back there is the tavern bar sold separately. I've actually already ordered mine and it's coming in the mail. I love everything about this set. So without further ado, it's time for the unboxing. By the way, I do like the fact that these boxes are a lot bigger now than, let's say, the old Dungeons & Dragons ones were from back in the day. And I believe this character I got here, I had a bugbear, which I was very fortunate to get, I think. Although this model, you could use it as a half-orc or any kind of big, sort of monstrous brute. I never really use a miniature for exactly what it says it's used for on the bottom. Like I said, it can always just, bugbear alert, 13 of 45. So there's that one. The second mini from this container. Let's see what's about to pop out of there. If it'll... Okay, that's definitely a miniature that you could use for a PC. I believe he's got a sort of cat pelt cape with the head kind of pulled over the top of his head and his hair. Easily an elf, a half-elf, a human of sorts, a ranger, or a fighter. I think it's a really cool concept for a character, definitely someone, a graceful slayer. It's definitely a character you can meet at the tavern, and definitely able to be used as a PC. The third one, this one kind of caught me off guard. I did not know what this creature was. I remember now it's a bunyip, because after looking at, oh, by the way, I love the bite mark on its belly, as if some kind of shark tried to take a snack out of it and didn't like what it tasted. I pretty much thought this creature was a hooked horror of the deep, just because of the way his flippers look and just his general sour attitude. And of course, the final one that I got for this set is a great big bugbear. Not bugbear, owlbear. Sorry, I got my different bears mixed up. But his name is Beaky. And what surprised me was just how sturdy the figurine was, how well the paint job was on it. I don't remember the paint jobs on these figurines being as good as they are now as they were back when I bought D&D minis during the sets Unhallowed or War of the Dragon Queen, War Drums. That's where most of my miniature buying came from back before I sold that set and then tried to pick up these new ones. And I decided to keep the bubble wrapping because I think that bubble wrapping can be very good when it comes to shipping maybe a hand-painted mini that I might sell to somebody or trade to somebody. So that's one thing that impressed me a lot, was actually the bubble wrapping. So this is box number 2 of my 8 packs total. I was pleased with the first box. I thought the owlbear was a great figurine, and I thought my other characters were quite interesting to have as well for the table. So let's see if I can get just as lucky with this second box. And already out of back from the first one, I believe this is a second bugbear character, but a different one than the other one that I got. Yeah, this one I want to say is a warlord or war chief. He's got great looking armor. He's got the eye patch on. There's so much you can do with this kind of character. Easily a bandit leader. I love the face on his breastplate. And that gigantic sword of his, I could easily make that a great sword that does 2d6 damage. That he just wields one-handed because he's a bugbear tyrant, and that is tyrannical and fierce. So I already love the fact that I got those 2 bugbears. They could easily be some kind of marauding duo for something with your adventures. or your adventurers could use them. Now, I did not know that this woman was worth as much as she was. This is apparently a pricey figurine, and I can see why with how she looks. I mean, she's definitely a very cool looking, you can use her as an elf, half-elf, human, your basic, very humanoid looking ones. The shield, the sword, it's the greens that I enjoy to honor. I don't know what her lore is. Yes, Alevra, the elf general. I don't know what her lore is in the Pathfinder universe. I'm not familiar with that particular story set, but I imagine this character can hurt a lot of people. So I think with her that pack is already a win. But let's just see what else I get in here. And this is a small one. It's a tough one to get out, which I did not like tearing that bag. I wanted to keep those bubble wrap bags. But no, it's not a small one. It's a farmer. I was actually, I enjoyed getting this piece because I do have a character who is a peasant that I play a lot. Granted, even though I do already have a miniature for the peasant character, this could easily work with bringing in some NPCs or something like that, but I just enjoy regular, common townsfolk miniatures as well, because I'm always going to have populated towns or just random folks you see on the street. Ooh, and the horse. That was the other part of this pack that I really liked, that it came with a horse. As cool as it is to get something like an aboleth or a giant fire elemental, a horse miniature, you're going to use it a lot. You're going to use the horse a lot. You're going to use the farmer a lot. You're not going to use that bunyip a lot. So I'm okay that I got the first bunyip. I would probably be a little disappointed if I had received any more bunyips after the first one. So I was stoked with that set. I got the elf general. I got a farmer. I got a horse. That's me just comparing the size of the bases and the models, because I didn't know if that owlbear was technically a huge base model or not, because his figurine is just so big. So that takes us to box number 3 from the Rusty Dragon Inn. And let's see what's inside this one here. I think at this point, I'm like purposely trying to not look at the figurines until I pull them in front of the camera. That way I don't get pre-spoiled. I wanted it to... Ooh. I love getting this table. Not just because they're worth a lot of money online, but because the concept of little furniture pieces to me is just a great idea to include in these sets. I figured that some folks who just want to get monsters will be disappointed at getting the tables, the chairs, the crates. I would love this kind of stuff. I'd love them to make a whole set that is nothing but bookshelves, beds, tables, things like that. And this is a ghoul cultist, I believe. I thought this was actually a pretty well put together model. The different shades of blues, the different skulls that stand out, and this little cultist character, he can be used as any kind of just, I think, generic sleazy bad guy or bandit, because it looks like he's could be a regular human at night. That bluish shade is just, you know, that typical movie effect of, oh, this is when I busted the other ghoul. I seem to have a habit of, if I bust one race where there's several others of its kind in a set, I get more of them. So I was happy to get the 2 different kinds of ghouls. This is the Monarch, because this means I can easily set up a nice little ghoul encounter, or like a group of bandits who's part of a cult, and just the fact that they look very similar but aren't the same model can create lots of just, you know, I attack the one with the knife, or I attack the one with the amulet. It looks a little better to me than a bunch of them in the same kind of pose. Now with this one I was kind of disappointed to get this Gorgon. I just don't see a Gorgon as being a miniature that is used very much, of course, until I realized that it makes so much sense to include the Gorgon in the Rusty Tavern or the Rusty Dragon Inn, because it's a mechanical bull. And what a better place to find a mechanical bull than down at the bar. So I was okay with getting that guy. At first I was a little disappointed, but when I caught the little bit of sarcasm and the irony in putting that model in this set, I enjoyed it. I kind of enjoyed the little kick. But that's just me. So this is box number 4. I got another ghoul. very, very happy to get this other ghoul. I now have a kind of like a 3-group band of, could be ghoul brothers or this one little cult, like a mage guy, a roguey stabby guy, and a little ranger guy with a bow. So it's a neat little trio that I got now with these models. The next character I got is my 3rd bugbear. I believe it's the bugbear mystic or the bugbear witch of some sort. I think she's hilarious. She's great. She's got those big jowls, and I thought that was a bow at first because it got bent, but this bugbear mystic with the other bugbear ghoulies, now I got another little trio. What's cool with these 2 trios is I could kind of make the party do something where they have to choose one or the other. You got 2 taverns, there's a little brawl going on between some cultists and some bugbears, and they're both going to pay the party. So here is, I believe, a gnome wizard, which I think is really cool. Definitely a PC character, I'm sure, or you could use it as a little halfling kind of cut purse who roams around stealing from people. All of these characters that I think in this set, except maybe the bunyip, are perfect for just stalking your tavern. And this guy is actually, I think, a pretty well done model for being pre-painted. Granted, the larger models look better because there's just a lot more of a canvas to draw on to be more detailed with. But I think the staff looks pretty cool. I think it's a frost giant. Yes, frost giant ice mage. And he could easily be a good NPC that the party has to find, an evil NPC that they have to overthrow. Maybe their tavern's at the bottom of an icy mountain. But I thought it was really cool to add that frost giant into my repertoire of pre-painted minis. I believe now I'm on box 5? I think this is box 5. Let's see, I got the owlbear, the gorgon, the giant, the horse. Yes, we'll say box 5. I have not been keeping up the best of count in this sort of video commentary about my pulls. I pulled another farmer. I was fine with pulling another farmer because farmers will be everywhere in a little inn. I think he had a little bit of a, I know with metal minis it's called flash, but assume with these little plastic resin it's something else. And from else in the pack, in addition to the farmer, let's see, it's apparently a small mini. Yes, that's right, it's a crate. It's the furniture piece. I love getting this. It's just a cool little piece of set decoration, and again, I really would love a booster set that is nothing but set decoration pieces, or all like some altars, creepy dungeon stuff. And this cool little mastiff dog is another great bit as well. You can easily have it sitting next to a character at the bar. Your PCs can interact with it. It can follow the PCs around. Or if someone just wants to use a dog as a pet, then, well, this one caught me off guard. I thought it was a dire rat at first, a very huge dire rat, but then I saw all the extra legs. It's called, I think, a Kyrix, I believe, yes. I assume that's probably a proper name for a character in the Pathfinder universe, unless there's a giant creature called a Kyrix that I've not heard of. You could easily use that as a dire, or any kind of giant, just a stand-in for a dire boar or something like that. There's a neat little module I played from, I think, a 2002 Dungeon Magazine set called The Legend of Garthulga. And that would make a really good Garthulga character, because Garthulga is this dire boar, sort of abomination-looking character. Or is it? And here's another double, the gnome wizard. I feel like I'd rather have a different double than the gnome wizard. Although it would be really cool if you pass those two off as twin girls who go around stealing from people. Good NPCs like that, I think, would definitely suit the characters. Now this is, I can't remember, I think it's a cut purse. Something cut purse. But a very sort of, I like the normal looking guys. The ones who are more NPC looking, you know. He's kind of sitting at the bar, he's the shady character, or he can catch the PCs when they're leaving the bar and stumbling drunkenly down the road with his little twin NPCs behind him. This is a paladin of sorts, I believe. Or at least you could play him as a paladin, or even a fighter, but when I look at the model, I immediately think of like that old veteran, Pious Guard. He's maybe an old veteran, he's seen his share of fights and stuff. He just wants to go down to the tavern and have a good drink, and maybe have a good conversation. but if trouble's brewing, he'll brew up his own sort of retribution. Next up, I believe, is pack number 6. Not 6, number 7. If I'm not mistaken, this could be pack number 8. But we will find out when it comes up. Ooh, I pulled the large guy out already. This guy's awesome. I mean, it's an orc on a giant direwolf. So when I pulled him out, I was, stoked about it. I mean, I didn't even know what really came in this set, other than a quick glance that I looked through and realized there were a bunch of cool NPCs. But that character, definitely usable, especially if you have a party member who's rolling a half-orc paladin and wants a really cool direwolf mount. Boom, you can set him up with that. So I busted out that. Actually, this is pack 7, because I remember what came in pack 8. Or that was pack 7. That giant guy was with that previous pack. I thought I was opening up a different pack. This is pack 8. So let's see how well I do in this 8th pack. First mini is another ghoul cultist. I'm fine with getting this as a double. So I now have 4 ghouls, more or less. 2 of them can be my frontline melee ghouls. The other 2 are my backline, a mage, and a ranger sort of character. So I think that would be a really good set to throw my PCs against. This one is, I think, an aristocrat. Easily can be a town mayor, someone of high importance, maybe even a villain. He's just got that pompous look about him, which I think is perfect in this kind of miniature. So we go after the aristocrat. Let's see, I pulled out a guard, which is great. I think it took a while to get this guard to be focused. I don't know why. Maybe it's because he was small, but there we go. I like the guard. He can easily follow that aristocrat around, and just, kind of be a little his second-hand man. Maybe even use that pious guard with the regular guard. And with the cultist out of the way, I busted another Gorgon. I would have really liked a different large base model than the Gorgon, but what can you do? Although, actually I remember now, I lied about this being the 8th pack. That was the 7th pack. This is the 8th pack. I promise you I do know how to count. It's just that it is 1 o'clock a.m. with me doing this little commentary, and I'm about to go to bed right after once I save this and start to upload. So with this, I believe this is a vampire spawn. You can easily work this in with your group of ghouls and have the vampire spawn just be one of them. He does have kind of the same, I think, flesh tone, although it's not bald. But that was a pretty cool looking model as well. After the vampire spawn, there is a little kobold trapper guy, who I think looks pretty cool. I like the way that guy looks. He's nifty. Alright, and unfortunately, I don't know why, I can't remember if I stopped recording and then recorded another segment and forgot I had the second segment and it got deleted. But the last 2 minis from the brick busting, I do not have on camera for some reason. But they were very good minis. One was a half-elf bard, which, in addition to being a really neat-looking miniature of a sort of young woman playing a violin, having a little rapier at her side, it's also apparently fairly valuable at the moment, so I was very stoked to get her. And then my big mini for that set was a flesh golem, and that flesh golem to me looks absolutely just gnarly. He's got all kinds of chunks of rotting meat sticking out of him. He's stitched up, he's Frankenstein on steroids. Definitely some kind of, if you could have it be a creature hidden under the floorboards by somebody down at the tavern you create, or you hidden away somewhere who just busts out and the party has to fight it. Yeah, you can do a lot with that flesh golem character. But I love the minis that I found in this brick. It gave me lots of cool ideas to use them in my Dungeons and Dragons settings. And I can't wait for my next brick. I'm already just, I've got the addiction like I used to get when I used to buy Magic the Gathering boxes. But anyways, that is my brick opening, and I am very, very impressed with the models out of this set. I might buy another Rusty Dragon Inn set in the future just to stock up on these characters, because these are some really cool NPCs that you can just use for whatever reason. I like them all. I want more, I guess, sort of more utilitarian style models that can be used for a wide variety of things. to come from both Pathfinder and Dungeons & Dragons miniatures, which are both being produced by WizKids now, I believe. So until next time, keep an eye on my channel for more updates of my Dungeons & Dragons group, more painting videos that I post on the occasion, and just any other things tabletop RPG related. Have a good rest of the day.